Welcome to Math Week 3. For this Week 3, we are using our Smile Learners Packet. So this is lesser in number of pages, lesser activities, but the details, how it is discussed is more clear. So when I compared it with the module last year and with the learner's packet, so I think this is easier. Okay, so ang palatandaan, if it's learner's packet, merong ganitong letterhead, parang kakaiba din, no cover at all. So on page 1, that start na kaagad nung ng nilalaman. So let's see. So what is this learner's packet for Mathematics Week 3 is about? So isurat mo ng pangalan, write your name first before we begin. So I'll try to discuss it in detail so that when you answer the activities, it will be easy for you. So the learner's packet is about regrouping sets of ones into sets of tens and sets of tens into sets of hundreds. So what does it mean? Because we discussed the flats, longs, and units, so we say that flats is hundreds. If you can remember yung shapes, yung isang flat is equal to 100, isang long, yung mahabang rectangle, is equal to 10. So let's review first. Let's recall what we discussed about that. Isang maliit na square is equal to 1. No. So now that we are clear with the flats, longs, and units, so we are going to use what we learned from it with this new set of topics. So when we say regrouping, inaayos natin. So sets of ones into tens. So ito, pwede siyang maging tens. And then ang tens naman pwedeng into sets of hundreds. So let's see, when does it happen? Okay, let's have a practice first in counting. Adalanta. So this is a number chart from 1 to 100. So if you can see the arrow, you count starting from 1 by rows until you reach 100. So bilangon po on 1 hanggang 10. So let's have first the activity. Bilangon po on 1 hanggang 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. May pirang sets ning ones sa 1 hanggang 10. So when you counted 1 until 10, ilang mga ones yon? It's 10. So paisa-isa yan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Paisa-isa. So when you counted from 1 to 10, there are 10 ones. Okay, let's have another. Bilangon po 10 hanggang 100. So let's go back to the number chart. Okay, and sabi 10 hanggang 100. So you have to count or mention these numbers on the side. So you just follow the arrow. It starts from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So it's like counting by tens. The question is, may pirang sets ng 10 sa 10 hanggang 100. So dahil ito pa 10-10, you counted by tens, ilang pa 10 daw yan until you reach 100. So simply you count. Ito, this is by tens. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it means, para makabuo ng 100, you need 10 tens. Ibig sabihin, 10 mga 10. Ito naman, 10 mga ones. So how are they related? Yan ang sinasabi ko. Paano ba ang ones magiging tens, ang tens magiging namang into hundreds? Okay, bilangon po 1 hanggang 100. So that is what we did last week, 1 to 100. So even without the copy, you can recite the numbers from 1 to 100. And there is this question, may pirang sets ning 100 sa 1 hanggang 100. So, ilan ba ang set ng 100 kung bibilang ka into 1 to 100? So, parang yan isang flat na. So, kung makikita nyo, para na ito, yung number chart na yan, para yung isang malaking flat. So, therefore, para sa 1 hanggang 100, ilang 100 ang makikita? It's only 1. Ano po? So, 1 hundreds. So, what does it mean? So, sa isang 10, sa 1 tens, there are 10 ones. And then, for isang, for 1 hundreds, ibig sabihin isang flats. Ito yung, ano yan, yung, if you remember, yung longs. So, isang long is composed of 10 ones. And then, for hundreds naman, isang flat is composed of 10 tens. So, kaya, di ba, sabi ko, pag dinikit-dikit yon, makakabuo. Okay, so, this is the review because this is parang review na to kasi I mentioned it last week. And flats, longs, as in ones. And flats, longs, as in ones, sarong paagi ng pagbasa, as in paggrupo-grupo o sets kan numero kung pirang ones, tens, hundreds, and na sa numero. Because why do we need to have the flats, longs, and ones? Because numbers should be in concrete. Hindi pwedeng, iyan, number 1 yan. Dapat makita, ano ba ang 1? So, there should be an understanding kung ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng 1. Not just the symbol, hindi lang yung pagsulat ng 1, but how is it different from 2? How is it different from 3? Okay, so that's why we use the flats, longs, and ones. Okay, take a look at this one. So, ito, mga ones. Ilang mga ones yan? So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, that's why we have 10 ones. Kapag iyan pinagdikit-dikit-dikit, so we can make 1 long. So, yan o. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, it means, kapag may mabuo ka ng 10 na ones, you can have it or you can regroup it as 1 long. So, that is what the title means. Ibig sabihin, regrouping sets of ones into tens. So, ito na yon. So, regrouping, ibig sabihin, from being scattered, pwede siyang isahin. Kasi, we can make 1 long out from 10 ones. Okay. Let's have another. Okay. How about for this one? Mga rectangle, yung mga mahaba. Mga longs. Ilan bang mga longs yan? So, we have, I'll count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, that's why we have 10 longs. If we have now 10 longs, ibig sabihin, we can make 1 flat. So, pwede na siyang pag nagdikit-dikit na, parang robot, they are assembled into one big square, so we can make 1 flat. So, that is what the title means, regrouping tens into hundreds. Kasi kapag may nakuha ka ng 10 na longs, it means it can now be transformed into 1 flat. So, hindi na sila pwedeng magkahiwalay kasi pwede na siyang makabuo ng isang flat. So, just remember, if we have 10 ones, huwag niyo itong kalimutan, if we have 10 ones, it can make into 1 long. And if we have 10 longs, it can be made into 1 flat. So, yan ang ibig sabihin nung title. Okay. So, learning competency, at the end of the lesson, learners should be able to regroup sets of ones into sets of tens and sets of tens into hundreds using objects. So, nakalagay dyan, sets of ones into sets of tens. Ito na yon. This is the first part. And then, ito naman, sets of tens into hundreds. This is what it means. So, kailangan kasi may nakikitang object para maintindihan ninyo kung ilan ba ang 1, ilan ang 2, and more. Okay, let's now go to learning activities. Part A, aramon ta. Pagpahiling nin ones, tens, saka hundreds gamit ang place value chart. So, what does the place value chart mean? Oops. Okay, balikan natin yung page na yon. So, this is what a place value chart is. So, para siyang mga, usually, para sa grade 1, you need 3 columns. 3 columns siya. So, from the rightmost, kung nakikita niyo sa papel nyo, from the rightmost, ito yung mga ones. Ito yung mga isa lang na ganyan. And then, next, at the middle, I started from your right. Para you can see which is the smallest value. And then, next is the tens place. We are referring to the longs, number of longs. And then, the hundreds, this refers to the flats. Okay, so if you notice, it's from the right side, from right, it's now going to your left. So, it starts from the smallest value, yung pinakamababang value, until the largest value. So, ones, tens, hundreds. So, don't forget those terms for the place value chart. Minsan, sino-shortcut na lang yan para maalala ka agad ang bata. So, ones, O, from the word, first letter. Tens is T, and then hundreds, it's H. So, HTO, para hindi nyo makalimutan. And O is the least value. Okay. So, I have here, example, pirang sets o grupo nin hundreds, tens, saka ones ang nasa 126. So, this is the number that we have to see by place value or by each part. Okay, so what number is this? It's 126. So this is read as 126. Okay, in 126, so that we have here isang flat. So isang hundreds, we have here 100s or one flat. Ibig sabihin, 100 isang buong flat. And then, for this, we have 2 tens. Ito yan, isang 10. So, there are 2 tens. And then, for ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, we have 6 ones. So, we are just counting what is in each group. So, for hundreds, tens, ones, there are 100s, 2 tens, and 6 ones. So, how are we going to find the value? So, this is the value below 120 and then 6. Where did we get this 120 and 6? Okay, simply, you count this one. One flat, ilan nga yan ang isang flat? 100. Ano? So, hindi na kailangang bilang isa-isa pa yan. As long as you see one flat, it means it's 100. The value of that is 100. And next one, 2 tens. Bibilangin nyo ba pa isa-isa? No. You can count by tens. Kaya yan nga o tens. It means you can count by tens. 10, 20. So, that's why we have 20 for this value. And the next, 6 ones. Ito ang bibilangin mong isa-isa. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, the value of that is 6. So, ano ang meron sa 126? We have 120 and 6. If you can separate the hundreds, tens, and ones, it can help you read the number properly. So, malalaman mo, sa 1, hindi yan pwedeng basahin na 126 kasi hindi, you must tell the value. So, in 126, we have 120. 20, and 6. Kaya sa 126, so it says here, kaya sa 126 iguanin 1 set ng hundreds. Ito yan. Ito yung sinabi kong nasa taas. 2 sets ng tens. Ito din yan. And then saka 6 sets ng ones. Ito din yan. So, in 126, we have 100s. In 126, merong 100s. Isulat ko so that you can see the pattern. 100s, 2 tens, and then 6 ones. Then, so, if we can have it as a number, it refers to 126. Okay. Now, let's see. Pirang pidaso nin kahon ang nasa hundreds, tens, saka ones sa laog kan kada column. So, all you have to do is write the values. So, this one is the value, 30, and then 9. So, where did you get this one? Ito, nag-count ko lang. 10, 20, 30. So, that's why we have 30. Where did we get 9? This is from the number of ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, we have 39. So, the number that we are referring to is 39. But, in the direction, you don't need to write the number being what do you call that? Being described from here. You just need to write the value. So, number 1 is an example. All you have to do is follow the pattern for number 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So, dito, do we see any hundreds? Wala. So, you don't need to put the value. If it's 0, then it's understood wala talaga siya. Next, for tens, okay. For when you see this one, if you see longs, you count by tens. And then, if you see this ones, you count by ones. So, yan ang ano. And then, write it here. And then, the value for ones. That is what you have to do for number 2, number 3, number 4, and then wala pala. Number 4 lang pala. So, yan ang gagawin natin. Yan ang gagawin nyo. If it confuses you, you can view the example on number 1. So, ito lang naman, bibilangin mo lang siya so that you can tell the value for each column. Diyan sa ones, tens, and hundreds. So, pause para masagutan ng maayos. Kasi sa math, eksakto dapat ang mga answer. Okay. If you're done, we can proceed with part B. May pirang grupo o sets nin 10 sa 23. Okay, para maaraman ta, iniyan sa tuyang gihibon. So, if you notice, sa learner's packet, may examples muna. Pinapaliwanag, then there is an example given, and then on the next part, the task, the same as the example. Okay, so, para maaraman ta, iniyan sa tuyang gihibon. Step 1, ilaag ang 23 ones sa chart na ini. So, ano da ang hahanapin natin ilang 10, ilang mga 10, 10, 10 makikita sa 23. So, para ito, ma-imagine nyo, we can make use of the ones, longs, and flats. Okay. By following the steps, ilaag ang 23 ones sa chart na ini. So, 23 ones muna. Paano to naging 23 ones? Let's make it sure. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So, now that we put the 23 ones muna, para makita natin paano ba siya nare-regroup, paano ba nakakakita tayo ng 10, 10, 10, 10 sa 23. Okay, step 2. May duwang 2 sets ng 10 sa 23. Saan ba yun galing? Yan. So, di ba ito lahat? Di ba ito lahat 23? Ang ibig sabihin, may makukuha ka bang 10 sa 23? Oo. So, nandito na 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Isang 10 yon. Next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 10. From this 3 remaining, can we get 10? May makukuha ba tayong 10? Hindi na. So, these 3 will remain under 1s. Anong mangyayari dito sa nabuong 10? Pwede na siyang ilipat dito. So, that is what regrouping is. Kapag nakakabuo na siya for isang long, kasi sobra na siya sa nasa 10 na siya. So, from 1s, pwede na siyang lumipat sa 10s. So, that is what we do. For step 3, ilaag sa tens column ang duwang sets ng tens. So, di ba may binilugan kanina? Ito, may binilugan. Lilipat na siya and this will become long. So, ito yung una nating binilang na 10 na binilugan. Ito naman is another 10 na binilugan natin. And then, from 23 ones, we can now have 2 tens and then 3 ones. So, hindi pwede siyang magsobra-sobra sa ones. Dapat pag may mabuo ng 10, it should be transferred now into 1 long or under the tens. So, for 23, we have 2 tens and 3 ones. Let's count the value para kung sure ba to. So, 10, 20. Ito naman, 1, 2, 3. So, we are after 23. 23. So, that's it. If we can identify the value and then it is the same with the number being described, so it means that your answer is correct. Okay, kaya may duwang grupo ng tens sa 23. Ayan na. Kaya nga may 20 kasi may dalawang 10. Okay. Pakarayon ang minasunod sa tamang column na ayon sa ones, tens, saka hundreds sa sinsimbagon at hapot. So, this time, it's your turn to do it. But you have to regroup them. Okay. So, for the first box, this is an illustration at what you have to regroup. And then, on the second box, ikaw na ang mag-a-answer. So, this number 1 is an example. So, take a look at this one. Let's try to count first what is under the ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So, we are after what is in 18. Ano ba ang mga values na nasa 18? So, from 18 ones, may isang nabuo, may makukuha tayong 1 tens. Ano gagawin natin? Ililipat dyan. Ito, pwede ba siyang ilipat? No, they should remain under ones kasi may kulang pa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kulang pa siya. So, we cannot have it regrouped kasi hindi pa siya. Kulang pa siya. So, they will remain under ones and this will be regrouped doon sa kabila sa next value. That's why if you see the illustration, ito na yan. So, dikit-dikit na sila. So, it now becomes 1 tens. And then, yung natitira, it's 8 ones. So, from 18, in 18, we have 1 tens. 1 tens and 8 ones. That's it for this activity. For number 2 naman, yan. Ano ang hinahanap na numero? 18. So, what you have to do is also answer the question after the chart. Okay, for number 2, ang dali kasi dito kasi may na-identify na kung alin yung ililipat nyo. So, all you have to do is don't forget where to put it. Okay, for this one, for number 2, etong sa tens na to, itong sa tens na tong may group, itong naka-group na siya, ibig sabihin, they can be formed into hundreds. This can be regrouped here. Etong naman wala dito, outside the circle, they will remain here kasi kulang pa siya. Take a look at this one. Bakit may bilog na siya? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ibig sabihin, 10 tens na, they can be transferred under hundreds. And then, ito naman, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, lilipat din sa tens. Kasi, nakabuo na ng tens. How about for this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Also, this should be regrouped. So, may isang aalis dito. Ito naman, may lilipat naman ng dalawa. How about for this? Kailangan ba silang sumama? Wala. They are outside the circle. It means they should remain under that column. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bakit hindi sila kasama? Kasi they are not 10 yet. Hindi pa pwede. Okay, what you have to do is you have to draw it again to show that they are now regrouped. Okay, so to make it easy for you, kasi magdodrawing kayo ng hundreds, tens, and ones. Para maging madali, you just make one big square. Sorry, one big square. It means this is flat. Ganito naman ang tens or the longs. Huwag na maglagay ng mga guhit sa gitna kasi it might confuse you. Basta isang malaking square, flat yan. And then, mahaba is long. And then, the smaller circle is the unit. Huwag na kayong maglagay ng mga guhit. Kasi baka problema pa kayo, hindi nabubuo ang 100. It's okay. It's understood. If you have one flat, then it's 100. So, again, for this one, you need to answer this part. Ilan ba ang you have to draw kung ilan flat based on the chart above. So, dapat nakikita nyo yung kukunan nyo ng sagot. Maganda dito, it's good that they have encircled the values that should be regrouped. Nasaan na tayo? Ito. You're going to base your answer here. Oops, nawawala pa sinusum out ko. Balikan natin. Sana tayo. Okay, this is number 2. Sorry. This is number 2. Ayan. Okay. Oops, nasobrahan ko ang scroll. Okay, so ang gagawin nyo na lang, ililipat based on what is illustrated above. So, ilan ang hundreds? Dito mo i-drawing. Ilan na tens? And then, ilan naman ang ones? So, itong arrow na to, it will guide you kung saan papunta. And then, you have to draw. Kung flat, long, o units ang ilalagay nyo kung ilan. And then, below, you have to write the value here. Isang answer, isang answer, isang answer. And then when they are now being identified as one number, you have to answer this one. Ano ang hinahanap na numero? Another answer here. Kagaya nung nasa taas na example, ito, ang answer niya 18. But for this one, what is this number being described? Okay, so you need to have, for number 2, you need to have 7 na answer. So, pause para hindi kayo malito sa number 2. And then for number 3, nagkataon kasi nasa next page. So, I'll discuss number 3 first para hindi kayo malito. Okay, for number 3, ang maganda dito, may mga ano na siya, naka-ready na naililipat. So, it means this will be transferred here. Nakabuo siya ng 10. Another will be transferred here kasi makakabuo ng 10. And then, ito should also be transferred kasi nakabuo ng 10. How about for this 3 remaining? Lilipat ba? So, it's up to you. So, what you have to do below is you have to draw. You have to draw here. Here. Do we need any hundreds? May makikita ka bang ililipat? Wala naman. Kasi wala nga nakasulat sa tens. And then, don't forget the value to be written here and then here. Kapag 0 naman to, you don't need to put 0 kasi malilito pa kayo that there is another number to be added na hindi naman significant na. And then, don't forget to answer this question. Ano ang hinahanap na numero? So, for number 3, you need to have 5 na answers. Okay. Number 4, level up naman. O, ayan. Don't forget to look for the broken, ayan, mga broken na red. So, it means this will be regrouped. So, naka-ready na siya, kumbaga. So, for number 4, ito, why is this being grouped? Kasi makakabuo na siya. Let's see. Kung 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Tama nga naman. This should be regrouped here. And then, these 2, may iwan lang kasi kulang pa siya. And then, for ones naman, ang dami-dami kasi madami makukuhang 10, 10, 10. So, naka-ready na siya. This will be transferred here. Ito naman, lilipat siya dito. Lilipat naman dito. But, except for this ones outside of the circle. Outside of the group. So, they will remain here. So, then, the answer, kung ilang hundreds, ilang tens, ilang ones. So, again, you just have this shape for flats. Ito naman for tens. Oh, if you prefer na pahiga, okay din lang. And then, a smaller circle for units. Don't forget to fill in the values dito at the middle and at the under ones, and then that's the number being described. So how many answers are required under number 4? There are yung drawing, value, and then the number. There are 7. For part C, so we don't have the drawing anymore kasi kumbaga na imagine na natin kung ano ang itsura ng 100, ang tens, ang ones by using the flats, longs, units. So this time, we don't have the flats, longs, units, ones anymore. So we are having the numbers now. So unti-unti tinanggal na natin yung concrete na itsura ng numbers, and then we now proceed with the symbols. Yung number na lang. Isurat kung may pirang sets o grupo ng ones, tens, o hundreds, and minasunod. Meron tong pattern. So, dapat nyo, para hindi kayo mawala, kailangan hindi nyo din ito makalimutan. Okay, an example is written here. 36. Meron bang 100 sa 36? Kung merong 100 sa 36, so dapat may nabanggit na halimbawa 136, 536, 336. Hindi pwede kasi 2 digits lang yan. Ibig sabihin, if there are only 2 digits, ang magagamit lang niya is dito, group of ones and then group of tens. So, clue na lang to for 36. Ito lang ang gagamitin. So, that's why we have 3 and then 6. 45. Ilang digits yan? Ilang number ba ang 45? Dalawa. So, it means, dito lang kayo mag-answer. Wala naman 100. Hindi naman nakalagay doon 445. For 57, there are 2 values that you need to fill in. Dito, sa ones and then sa tens. Eto. There are 3 digits now. 3 na ang number. 102. what columns to be used now is ones, tens, hundreds na. For 106, there are 3 digits. So, you need the ones, tens, hundreds. So, when you read the number, may nababanggit ka ng 100, ibig sabihin, you need 3 columns now. We have the ones, tens, hundreds. Next, another 3 digits, 126. So, you need to fill in this blank, ones, tens, hundreds. How about 20? Ilang number yan? Ilang digits? 2. So, we need 2 columns, the ones and tens. How about 10? O, 10 na lang yan. Ibig sabihin, hanggang tens lang siya. So, you need to fill in ones, tens. And then, we have 111. O, narinig nyo? 111. So, means we need ones, tens, hundreds. And then, last item, 222. So, we have ones, tens, hundreds. So, yun lang. Tatandaan nyo, if there are 2 digits, so it means you need the ones and the tens. Do you remember yung HTO? Oh, ito na yan. HTO. Oh, ito naman, 102, may H, T, O. Oh, I gave you clue where to put the number so that you can tell the number of hundreds, the number of tens, and the number of ones. So, you just remember that you have to write the numbers correctly. Bawal ang baliktad. For number 2, bilangon. Which are we going to count? Etong nasa next page. Yung mga bata. Pirang grupo or sets ng tens saka ones igwa sa litrato. Pira gabos ang nasa litrato. So, anong gagawin? Maghahanap ka muna ng tens. Pwede, teacher, bilugan ko po para makita ko yung buong 10. Pwede. So, ang gagawin mo, guhitan ko yung bata. Okay. Let's try pencil pencil lang muna. Okay. So, ang gagawin nyo, bilang kayo ng 10, 10, 10. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, bilugon nyo yan. Excuse me. Yan. Nakaboba ng 10. Oo. So, another. Bilang ka ulit ng 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oops, may isa pang bata doon. So, bilog ka pa. And then, tama ba? Binilugan. Kulang sa mali. 11 sila. Okay, let's have 10 ulit. 1. Bilagyan ko ng palatandaan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ito. Okay. So, ganyan ang pwede niyong gawin so that you can identify first how many tens and then how many ones. So, palagi ako nagsuso. Igwanin, blank tens. Ilan pa ang nabuong 10? Saka blank ones. Ilan ba ang hindi nakasama doon sa bilog mo? These are the ones. Kaya, blank gabos ang nasa litrato. This third blank, this should be the total number. So, the number of children in all. So, easy ba? So, dapat kasi, ang clue lang dito, ang tip lang dito, you need to be familiar with counting 1 to 10, tapos 10 to 100. So, ang mga nanodan ko, laganin check kung ano ang sa indong namatian, manong sa indong nanodan. How did you find the topic? Did you find it okay? So, ano ba yung naging, how did you feel? Oh, wala na si teacher. Oh, ito. How did you feel? Did you feel okay with the module? Was it fine? Medyo mahirap pero naintindihan mo. So, you can put a check here. Tapos, ito naman, umayaw ka na agad. Dahil pagbilang pa lang ng 1 to 100, ayaw mo na kaagad. So, this is the part that you have to put a check. And then, suggestion o kahaputan, hali sa magurang. On this part, this is for the parents. So, if there are any suggestion or any question, so you can write it on this part. So, para lang to sa parents, but other than this, dapat bata ang nagsulat. What else? We're done with math. Oh, see? So, sinimulan mo na sa drawing and then with the numbers, the symbols, para hindi natin makalimutan kung ilan ba ang symbol na ang flats, longs, and units, or I mean ones, magagamit para you can associate it from objects into numbers. So, that's it. We're done for the week. So, tingnan nyo. 3 weeks na tayo. This is the 3rd week. This is the last subject. And then we're ready to move to the next module set. Goodbye!